Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Jojo Powder, and on this channel, we talk about all things beauty. Today we are doing this look right here. It is a transfer-proof holiday makeup look. This is the perfect look to wear with a mask. The foundation is perfect for mask. The way that we did our complexion is absolutely guaranteed to last through putting on, taking off, putting on, taking off again, masks throughout the holidays. I know that if you are like me, you are gonna go to at least 2 or 3 locations during the holiday season, and it's important for you guys to stay safe and wear your masks, but we also wanna look cute and we wanna look glam, and we gotta figure out how to do that. And so this video is focused around, number one, creating this super cute holiday look. So we're gonna go through the eyes first, and then we're gonna go through the complexion on how to make sure your foundation, concealer, bronzer lasts through taking on and putting off masks. So if you're interested on how to create this holiday transfer-proof look, make sure you subscribe to my channel and then keep on watching. All right guys, so let's get started on this eye glam. So starting off, we're gonna obviously prime. So we're gonna use this guy right here, which is the P. Louise eye base. I have really been loving this eye base. This and the Urban Decay Eden are my top 2 eye bases. I really like them. I mean, you're more than welcome to use a concealer. That's perfectly fine. I just like it for looks like this where I know that I'm gonna be using color because I know the consistency works, plus I like the coverage of the eye base. Boom. So after I put my eye base on, I like to set it with a powder. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade number 2. You can use a translucent powder. You can even use an eyeshadow that is a bone or skin tone to you. I just like this because it helps to smooth everything out. Plus, I had it on my vanity. Perfect. So now we have a nice base to start working off of. We don't have to worry about the brushes getting stuck. If you're someone who's experienced and you feel comfortable enough to go in with a wet base, go ahead, homie, but I just feel like that's a great tip for you that are starting. It's good to just set your base so that you know exactly what you're dealing with when you go in with your brush. So, starting today, we are using this Esmeralda by Beauty Creations palette. This is such a pretty palette I received in my BoxyCharm. It is so appropriate for the holiday season, which is a look that we're doing today. For this holiday makeup look, I wanted something that was warm, that had a little shimmer, but that was nice and dramatic, so I put a wing and some smoke behind it, which is so appropriate for the holidays, because if you can't be glittery and smoky during the holidays, then when can you, right? So unfortunately, this palette does not have the names of the shades, but I will show you as we go along. So we are starting with this shade right here, which is a nice brick red, and I am picking that up with my M433 from Morphe. One tip that I can give you is to build a color into the brush. I know that I say that all the time, but it truly just helps to the way that your powders are blending and how smooth your transitions are. So you should be able to see a fair amount of powder on your brush. And so what I like to do is go in with this color and really stamp it into the eyelid, creating the shape for this look that I want. So for this look, I started off with a pretty rounded shape, and then it just transitioned into a nice smoky wing. So to do that, I'm just stamping this into this outer V and then stamping it all the way through into the crease, and I went pretty far into the inner corner, so just feel free. We are going to go back into the eye base and clean it up, so don't worry. So once we build this color up quite a bit, we're gonna transition into the actual blending crease shade. And I know that that sounds weird since we started with such a dark color, but I've realized that if you're blending it with this technique, it's a lot easier for you to get the color payoff and it's less work. So we're gonna use a Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH34, which is a little longer, meaning you're gonna cover a wider area than the previous brush, and we're gonna go into this eyeshadow right. When you're blending this eyeshadow into your look, just keep in mind that this is more of a transition, smoky, blowout, the previous color than to show through. You might not see a lot of this color, but it'll definitely help to blend out the smoothness of the look. Alright guys, so once we built it up in the crease, and remember that it doesn't have to be as deep or as defined in the lid, we are gonna clean up the lid. So what I wanna do is go back into my P. Louise eye base, and I'm gonna pick up a nice flat shading brush, something similar to this. And so what I like to do is apply the eye base to the back of my hand first. I don't ever go into my eyelid with a ton of product just because I want control as to how much goes on at a time. And so I'm going to build up the product on my brush first and then go onto the lid. And I like to start off in this inner corner. Once I've got a decent amount in the inner corner, what I like to do is stop for a minute and look up and really just stamp out where this shade is going to stop, so that I can carve this out without having any bleeding of the color once the shadows are on and as the day goes by. And so now that we've got the crease cut, we can go back into our eyeshadow palette and we're gonna pick up this shade right here, which has been calling out my name since I opened this eyeshadow palette. And I'm gonna take a Luxie 239 shader brush. This shader brush is a little thicker than the previous shading brush that I was showing you, and that is because I want to pack on color. And to pack on color, you always want a little bit of fluff to your brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up that color and I'm going to do swiping motions to just start building and layering. Boom. And then I wanted something a little bolder, a little brighter. So what I'm going to do is take this shade here that's right next to that bronzy shade. It's almost like a true gold, but it's not as chunky of a shimmer. And I'm just gonna put that right over just to brighten up the eyelid a little bit, and you can see that it changes it just a smidge. Once you've blended that out, we're gonna go ahead and bring in a little bit of that brown dark smokiness that we're seeing in the outer corner. By the way, this eyeshadow palette has very minimal fallout, which I like. Like, you guys can see that there's very little shadow under my eye. There's maybe a little bit of gold under there. We like that. So we're gonna pick up this brown that's right here in the palette with a Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH33. This one is similar to the first eyeshadow brush that we used when we started the look, but this is gonna be used for this brown to help me specifically in this outer corner. So we're gonna use dabbing motions because we wanna build color. Anytime that you wanna build up an eyeshadow color, you need to use dabbing motions instead of swirling windshield wiper motions, because that's going to help keep it in a specific area. There we go. And then because I lost a little bit of the gold in that inner corner or the middle of the eyelid, I'm just going to go back and emphasize. There's such pigment in these shadows that I don't need to dampen it. I don't need to recarve it. It'll just pick it right up. Look at that. Like it. Okay, so we are now ready to do the wing. So for the wing, I use a combination of liners. They're both by Stila. And so you have the Stila Stay All Day liquid eyeliner, and then you have the Stila micro tip eyeliner. Both the same, one just has a smaller tip than the other. So we're gonna start with the regular liner first. This one's got a longer felt tip so I can really create the wing and build that out. And then the micro tip gets very close to my lash line so I can fill in any areas that still have skin peeking through. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is put the liner on, and then I'm also gonna put on a pair of eyelashes. These are by Sephora and it is the style called Feisty. I'll show you what they look like in the packaging. I'm not crazy about how these are laid out on the actual strip. Like, I had to cut off a whole section just to get it to fit my eye right, and I thought that was too short. But I will say the style is pretty. It's voluminous enough, but I still love my Beauty Creation lashes that have got the layers. I just don't have anything dramatic enough for this look, whereas this was a little more dramatic. So let me put my liner and my lashes on, and I'll be back to do the complexion with you guys. All right, so I zoomed you guys out some. We are now ready to start on our holiday transfer proof complexion. So I know that you are probably gonna be hitting up 2 to 3 houses this holiday season. Go ahead and raise your hands if that's you. And if you're being cautious and you're abiding by the CDC guidelines, which I hope you are, that's the nurse in me, you will be wearing masks often. And so we don't want that to interfere with our glamage. We don't want that to interfere with our slayage. We don't want it to interfere with what we've got going on here, right? So I've got you. This is a transfer proof complexion routine that is going to last regardless of how many times you put that mask on and off. So are you ready? If you're ready, comment down below and say I'm ready. So let's start off by prepping. So prepping is gonna be a huge part of this long wearing transfer proof routine. This is gonna be huge to help keep the foundation that you can wear with a mask. This is very, very important. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start off by prepping your skin based off of your skin type. So I'm combination skin, which means that I've got an oily midsection that I'm gonna use this Dr. Brandt Pores No More for. This is going to help me mattify my oils, keep that under control, as well as conceal my pores. I love this for that because it is honestly an eraser right before your eyes. And then the Milk Primer, the Hydro Grip Primer, is one of the best long wearing primers. This is really going to help your foundation outlast any type of mask. So now, of course, to use a long wearing mask proof makeup, you need a good long wearing foundation. So if I have a video that I will link here of foundations, both drugstore and higher end, that I recommend for you to wear with a mask. But this has to be my top, my favorite regardless before COVID. It's just super good coverage, super long wearing, transfer proof, humidity proof, waterproof, 24-hour wear. Those are all good things and you want them for this transfer proof holiday look. So this is the Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. I wear it in the shade 2.18. However, that is pre-tanning. So I don't know if this is gonna be too pale, but if it is, you're gonna learn how to color correct the foundation in this video as well. So I take about this much. This is probably way too much for me, but that's what I'm gonna start off with today. And I'm gonna use a buffing brush. The buffing brush is gonna help smooth out the cream, but it'll also give you the most coverage. So this one is Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH03. And I'm gonna work the foundation into the brush first, and then we'll apply it to the skin. Oh, so smooth. It's literally covering and I don't feel anything. I can barely feel the weight of any foundation on my face, but do you guys see how much coverage it has? No makeup, makeup. It's so lightweight, so easy to use. So this is it for my foundation. One thing that I do want to make you aware of before you apply more foundation is that layering and the technique to your layering really has a lot to do with how well your foundation wears under a mask. So keep that in mind before you go ahead and add more, because we still have concealer, we still have contour, we still have powders. This is a really good coverage foundation. I really doubt that you're gonna need more. However, it could just be a preference thing for you, but keep that in mind. So before we do our concealer, I like to color correct or bronze contour up, and I like to do that with a cream. So the product I'm using today is a Wet n Wild Mega Glow Makeup Stick. I use it in the shade Call Me Maple. And I'm gonna be generous with this just because this foundation is too pale for me, and this is how you can color correct without having to get a whole new foundation shade, is by using a product like this. So I'm just going to apply a generous amount up there, and we are going to blend with another dense brush. This one's angled. However, this is the Beige Cosmetics Marbled Collection #1 brush, and I like to just push this into the skin with stippling motions. This is gonna be very important for how well your foundation applies, how well it layers, how well it wears. So keep that in mind. Technique as well as product matter. It's not just buying the most expensive product that claims to be transfer proof and that's it, you're set. You have to be able to apply it in the correct way. So for concealer, you also want to use a long wearing transfer proof concealer. I'm going to give you a really great drugstore option for this, and this is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. So you'll see that I have two shades. One is my concealing shade, which is this guy here, and then the other one is a highlighting shade. So I use it in the shade Medium Beige for concealing and then Medium Sand for highlighting. We're gonna go in with the concealing. This foundation has great coverage, like I said before. So because we want this to wear for a really long time and we wanna make it transfer proof when we're wearing masks, you gotta be careful with how much product you are applying to areas that are gonna be exposed to the mask. So there is a piece of hair that is bothering me. The size of the applicator on this thing is insane. So I'm gonna take some right into this inner corner here, and you'll notice that it has a peachy undertone to it. That's important to me because I want it to color correct as it is going onto my skin. So it's gonna be a little darker than what you would anticipate, but I need that to color correct. Using the smaller of the Hank & Henry sponges, I'm just going to blend that into this inner corner, or the smaller triangle as I like to call it. This guy dries fairly quickly, so just be aware of that. That's why you see me applying a little bit at a time and working very, very quickly, because it does dry quick. So now we're gonna go into the medium sand, which is a highlighting shade. And again, working one night at a time, you wanna make sure that you apply a small amount of product just where you need it, because of the fact that we're gonna be wearing a mask. So we're gonna put it right here. And then I actually like to take it right up into here, and I'm just gonna work one eye at a time, because again, it dries quick. And with my highlight, I do like to use it in the larger triangle, which means I'm gonna swing it above here and take it a little lower up against the bridge of the nose. When it comes to this outer corner here for the eye, you wanna make sure you keep the shape, but you also clean up any edges that are rough looking or messy. And then once you've done with the under eye, then you can move on to the forehead. We're just gonna do a little bit down the tip of the nose and then the chin area. I also like to reinforce this. The highlight needs to look even throughout the face, so you just want to make sure that you're evenly distributing the highlight or the light as if you had a light bulb following you around, illuminating the center of your face. Yes, it's been a minute since I did a full coverage glam moment. It's been all about everyday looks, and I'm all about this. So we're gonna set the under eye area with a little bit of powder. This part is important. So once you're wearing a mask and you've got this fabric rubbing up against your skin, you need this powder to help reinforce all of the product that's underneath. So I like to bake for that reason. If you're someone who's drier, you might just want to set with the pressed powder instead of baking. However, this formula that I've gotten here, this is a mixture of 3 powders. This is 2 different shades of the Maybelline Infallible Loose Powder, as well as the RCMA Translucent Powder. I just like the finish of this formula. I like the color, it just works well for me. So I like to make sure that I blend those in and I push into the skin. We're not just leaving it there, we're working it into the skin, pushing it in, making sure the powder melts into the skin. I love this. Oh. So next, what we are going to do is finish off the under eye area. So what I'm gonna do is take my Esmeralda palette by Beauty Creations and just repeat the same colors under the eye area as we did up top. I'm gonna work with this smaller BH Cosmetics number 7 brush, and I'm gonna take the brick red and the brown and just kind of mix back and forth. And then we are gonna go underneath and smoke this out. Let's go and finish off the rest of your complexion. So to finish off the complexion and make sure that we have a transfer proof makeup look, we want to make sure that we set everything. Again, I did a little bit of baking underneath that you see most of it is gone. That's why I love this Jojo Powder combination, because it is amazing. But I want to go in and just reinforce the rest of my foundation with this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder. So let's go in and bronze up our face once again. We're gonna use this NYX Highlight and Contour palette, and I'm gonna take a nice fluffy brush. I dropped this, guys, and it's still here. Just have to make a confession, I dropped it. So I'm gonna use the several shades of this, but mostly this warm shade that's in the palette to just bronze myself back up. I don't wanna contour too much. I might a little bit, but not too much. I just really want to give myself a nice bronzy, glowy complexion. So good. All right, so let's move on to highlight, which I am super excited because I'm bringing out a goodie, an oldie but a goodie. This is the Fenty Kilowatt and Mean Money and Hustla Baby. So I'm gonna just mix the 2 colors and apply it in a C shape. So right here, which is the brow bone and the cheekbone. The color payoff on these is insane. So good. And we are going to apply some blush. I like to keep the blush pinky, peachy, flirty. This is the MAC Just a Pinch Extra Dimension blush, and I'm gonna use it on an angled brush. This is the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH04, and I'm just going to push this into the skin in between the bronzer and the highlight. Love it. Love it. All right, and then the last step to the complexion to make sure that we last all day, that we are transfer proof, that we are a transfer proof moment all through the night, is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. So I'm just gonna give myself a nice good spray. When I'm doing my classes, I think clients are scared to really dampen their skin with this spray, but you need to make sure that you are absolutely setting it. So you need to see a light cast of the setting spray over your skin once you're finished, and make sure that you are a good distance away but not too far away to where you're not actually getting anything on your face. It's okay if your face feels wet, guys. It needs to set in place with this setting spray. That setting spray has temperature control, so it will truly help once that mask starts touching your skin. And then what I like to do as a last step is once again go in with my Hank & Henry sponge and just really push everything into the skin to make sure that we are as skin-like as possible. Boom. Look at us. So I've just recently microbladed. I've just recently laminated my eyebrows, and I'll link that video above if you're interested in the process and what it looks like and what that actually is. But I'm gonna do my eyebrows off of camera as well as my lipstick. What I'm gonna use for my eyebrows is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pen. I am obsessed with this brow pen. It is like a felt tip moment that just gives your brows shape and definition, but they look natural and not overdrawn, which is the trend right now. So I'm gonna do my brows, do my lips off of camera, and I'll be right back to you guys. All right, guys, so this is the finished look right here. Look at these brows. Like, do you see what I mean? They're fuller, they're so, I'm telling you, I'm gonna link the video to how I laminated my brows above, as well as my video for my holiday lip options. I'm gonna go with nude for this look. You can absolutely pop on a red or a burgundy or burnt orange brown type of color. It would absolutely apply. However, when it comes to transfer proof makeup, nude lipstick is just easier to reapply. You don't need to carry on a lip liner. It's just put it on and go, and you could quickly apply that before you get out of the car to go see family. So I just think that's the easiest thing. I'll link that video above as well. But this is it for today's look, guys. This is your transfer proof holiday look. I'm absolutely obsessed. I haven't done a full glam look like this in a minute, but I'm glad that I did, and I hope that you guys liked it. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every single week, and we have goals to get to 1,000 subscribers on this channel, so please subscribe and share the videos, and go see me on social media. It's Jojo_Palacio on Instagram, where we talk about all things beauty. So love you guys, bless you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.